and consciousness, Okay, while we receive the Dharma Sutra, let's hand out. You write out the Dharma Sutra. So, good evening, my dear brothers and sisters. Today is May the 17th, 2017. Welcome for tonight meditation and Dharma talks. How everyone do tonight? Good. Enjoy your Mother Day. Tonight we continue on this Dharma Sutra. We are on chapter 2, or we call section 2. So, Michael, can you read chapter 2 for us? Michael or Mike? Yeah.
Sure. Subhuti's request. At that time, the Venerable Subhuti stood up, bared his right shoulder, put his knee on the ground, and folding his palms respectfully said to the Buddha, "World-honored one, it is rare to find someone like you. You always support and show special confidence in the Bodhisattvas. World-honored one, if sons and daughters of good families want to give rise to the highest, most fulfilled awakened mind, what should they rely on, and what should they do to master their thinking?" The Buddha replied, "Well said, Subhuti. What you have said is absolutely correct. The Tathagata always supports and shows special confidence in the Bodhisattvas. Please listen with all of your attention, and the Tathagata will respond to your question. If daughters and sons of good families want to give rise to the highest, most fulfilled, awakened mind, they should rely on the following and master their thinking in the following way." The Venerable Subhuti said, "Lord, we are so happy to hear your teachings."
Okay. So tonight we will study chapter 2. So before we go to chapter 2, let me summarize the chapter 1. As you know, chapter 1 is talk about the Buddha daily activity. That he first he have to wake up in the morning, go and begging, and then go back home and sit and eat. That's all his activity. So generally, that's just our life, right? Wake up, brush your teeth, eat breakfast, go to work, go home, eat. That's every day is the same, right? But actually, we use this everyday mind, awakened mind, right? And generally, we don't know that, right? Unless we study the Buddha teaching, right? So the awakened mind is always there, enlightenment mind is always there. What we call the Buddha nature is always there. It's inherent in us, it's part of us. Just like space we live in general we live in space, but we don't know that there's space around us. We always thinking about food, clothes, money, children, all that stuff. But we forgot thanks the space. Without the space 1 minute, we will die, right? Without air, a couple of minutes, you can live. Without food, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, you can live, right? Without water, a couple of weeks, with a couple of days, you can live. But without space, imagine there's no space, right? So that's his awakened nature. It's always with us. It's like one of the Zen masters said that the awakened nature is close to you. It's like your nose in front of your face. Every day you see your nose, but you don't realize that you have a nose, right? Your eyes, through eye here, you see your nose every day, right? So your first thing in the morning, who do you see? Your nose. So you should say, "Hello, your nose," right? This means the day you wake up, the morning you recognize that you have Buddha nature, or we have awakened mind. This mind daily we use, but we don't know. The mind go brush the teeth, the mind wake up, the mind do all this activity, right? But we forgot. So that's why the Buddha he used the symbol beginning of this chapter of the diamond, talk about his daily life, how he used his awakened mind, right? An enlightenment person is live like a life like you, right? They wake up, they eat, they sleep, they take a shower, they do all this stuff. But they actually live fully with the awakened mind. But we live with hatred, anger, delusion mind. That's why when we take a shower, we get angry. When we brush our teeth, sometimes we get sad, get depression, right? Whenever we eat, we feel something missing, right? So an awakened person, they just do whatever you do. They are eating, sleeping, do all this activity. But their minds always calm and peace and stillness. But our minds is up and down. Sometimes we eat, we talking. Sometimes we eat, we think about the bill. Sometimes we eating, we think about all this problem in our head, right? So our mind is always wandering, right? But an awakened person, he or she is always in that moment, in the present moment. So this go lead to the section, what we call chapter 2, Subhuti request. Subhuti is one of the 10 highest Buddha disciple. This is 10 of the highest Buddha disciple. So Subhuti, he's the elder monk. His name is mean emptiness, because he able to understand the emptiness of all things. That's why Subhuti. So at that time, the vulnerable Subhuti stood up, bare his right shoulder, put on his knee on the ground, and fold his palm respectfully to say to the Buddha. So in generally, as a student of the Buddha, first you have a question, you have to stand up. You have to, usually monks we have wear a robe. So if you are in a India tradition, when you have a question, you have to take out half of your robe to show your shoulder, your right, and then begin to kneel down and fold our palm together and begin to say. So that is the respect of the student to his Buddha disciple. So that is the way to ask a question. 5 things. First, you have to stand up. You have to bare your shoulder. You have to you have to kneel down and on the ground, and you have to put our arm, what we call our hand together, and begin to ask a question. So that's why do we do that? To show that you honestly want to ask a question. Right? In general, when we ask a question, we just say it, right? But we don't show respect. So when you don't show respect, the teacher does not give you the right or the answer that you want. So that's why when you ask a question, some people have a question to challenge the teacher. Some people have a question to ask if the teacher knows, right? So that kind of question will lead you to mislead yourself. It also mislead to a teacher. So that's why in Buddhism we do everything with respectful, everything with mindfulness. So when we do everything respectful, mindfulness, the teacher or the Buddha honestly will give you 100% answer. But if your question is not truly with respect, then they feel uncomfortable, so they will give you only half of the answer. So that's why the Buddha tradition is, if you respect to the Buddha, you have to do all this stuff. But today we don't do that stuff. Only monks and nuns and the Buddha at the time they do those stuff. So that is the India tradition. But today we are doing the same thing. When we ask a question in Buddhist student, they put their arm together and they begin to ask a question. So means that you are ready to receive the answer. I mean, a baby is very thirsty for the milk. Put a hand together, and then the mother will begin to give the milk to the Buddha. So mean the baby is hungry, is want some milk, and the mother able to give the milk to the baby, and the baby will receive the milk, and then it start crying. So here is similar like question and answer, right? So when you want to ask a question, you honestly ask truly with 100% with mindfulness, and a teacher will be able to give you 100% answer, right? So when you receive the answer, the teacher give you the right answer or wrong answer, you automatically receive it with mindfulness and with compassion, loving kindness. So this is the way the Buddha and his disciple ask question and answer the question. So here he said that the Buddha is the world honest one. It is rare to find someone like you. You always support and show special confidence in the Bodhisattva. So most Buddhist sutra begin with a question, right? So every sutra you see that there's a question about what we need to do. So Subhuti is one of the 10 disciples. He able to understand of emptiness. He's the first person able to understand. The first disciple of the Buddha to able to understand emptiness. That's why when he's born when the day he's born, his family is very rich, a lot of gold and silver. And then when the day he born, then all this gold and silver disappear in 7 days. This means when he born now, it has to be empty. I mean, everything that is only a myth. I don't know if it's true or not. But this means to show that when he born in this world, everything has to be empty. So empty here means empty your mind. So when you ask a question with empty mind, you will receive it, right? But if you ask a question with angry mind, frustrated, distressed, then you will not fully receive the answer. So Subhuti is born out as emptiness. He is able to understand the emptiness of all living or non-living things. So that's why the Buddha says Subhuti was born in the city of Savatthi and became one of the highest 10 important of the Buddha disciple. So one of the time when Subhuti sit meditation under the tree, and suddenly there's a beautiful flower falling in his body, and he asked where this flower come from, and a couple of the angels come and say, we have come here and listen you talking about the emptiness, the sutra of emptiness. And the Subhuti say, I did not talk anything or lecture anything about emptiness. And the angel say that you did not talk emptiness, we did not hear the emptiness. That is the true emptiness. And then the Subhuti able to bow his head, nod his head and say, that is the true emptiness. And then the flowers begin to drop from the sky. So what does it mean? He sit meditation and he did not tell anything about emptiness. And the angel able to say that, oh, Subhuti, you have lectured emptiness. But the Subhuti say, I did not talk anything about emptiness. And the angel say, you did not talk the emptiness, or you did not lecture on emptiness, we did not hear the emptiness. That is the true emptiness. That is command for you to go home and meditate on. So emptiness, you don't have to do question or answer, right? Emptiness, you don't need to lecture. It's always there. Just like our awakened mind, it's always there. The Buddha don't say, the Bodhisattva or the preacher say, oh, you have awakened mind, you have Buddha nature, go find that. Right? You already have there. It's like space. All this time we live with space, we don't recognize. And then today we recognize. So that is the answer. One of the angels come and listen the tour of emptiness of the Subhuti. So Subhuti, his name is mean emptiness. And then the next one is they respect the Buddha. They call the Buddha as the world honored one. This is one of the 10 special names of the Buddha. So when you enlightenment, you have 10 names, right? Become a Buddha, you have 10 names. So world honored one. World honored one means the worlds of form, formless, right? There's a desire, form and formless. Not only this world, but the world of heaven, the world of the six realms, they honor the Buddha. So that's why we call the Buddha as the world honor one. And the next one is Bodhisattva. We already know the word Bodhisattva, right? Bodhi means awaken. Sattva means living being. So a Bodhisattva is an awakened being who help himself to awaken. He also help other sentient to awaken. So if you want to be a Buddha, you have to go to the path of Bodhisattva. Right? You have to go help yourself and help other sentient beings to become a Buddha. Because helping yourself is called self-merit. Helping other people is other people merit, right? So we call complete merit. When you become a Buddha, you have to be complete merit from both sides, helping yourself and helping other sentient beings. So Bodhisattva is a person with compassion, love and kindness, able to help, to relieve other people's suffering. So you yourself consider a Bodhisattva. Just like when you're walking on the street, and suddenly a lady walking and fall down, and you have a Bodhisattva mind, you go there and what? You help her, right? So that is the show of Bodhisattva compassion. That means you just see old people or somebody falling, you just come automatically and help without thinking, right? Just like when you walk in and suddenly you see a baby or a kid, they're falling, and you just suddenly come there, right, and help them without thinking or say, do I have to do it or I don't have not to do it, right? If you're still thinking, that means you are not Bodhisattva, right? Compassion is not truly compassion. The truly compassion is your automatic reaction to help other sentient beings without any thinking. So a Bodhisattva is, everyone can be a Bodhisattva. There's many levels. It's like 52 stages of Bodhisattva. For beginner, what we call sơ phát tâm, means the beginning of mind, who are able beginning of Bodhisattva. It's like us, we begin to practice on the Bodhisattva level to help other sentient beings, other people suffering, other people have all this stuff, we try to help them and relieve their suffering. So if you practice the Bodhisattva path, you need a Bodhisattva mind. Bodhi means awaken, Siddha means mind. Bodhisattva minds have compassion and love and kindness. If you help sentient beings without love and kindness and compassion and wisdom, then you will be suffering. For example, you say, oh, I help them, they should show respect, they should repay me. Then that is not Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva, when you give it, you don't receive. You don't ask them to give, you receive. So a Bodhisattva means we have compassion, whatever they are suffering, you just give, you have to relieve them. Doesn't matter what they repay you or not repay you, you still love them. So to become a Bodhisattva, you have to have this Bodhisattva mind. This Bodhisattva mind generates this energy, compassion energy. So when you help living beings, sentient beings, you don't feel stress, you don't feel anxiety, you don't feel fear. Sometimes we help people, we feel fear, right? Sometimes we help other people, we feel anxiety. Sometimes we help people, we feel uncomfortable. So if you live with the Bodhisattva mind, with compassion, love and kindness, wisdom, then you help them, you just help them. So that's why we call Vô Duyên Từ, means compassion without thinking, right? Compassion without repay. Just do it when you do it, right? That's just the way. So that's why we call Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is the awakened mind. This energy is uniform inside of you. That when you help, you see people suffering, you automatically feel something, love, compassion. Like suddenly you see people shooting, people killing, people dying, and you feel something uncomfortable in your mind. You feel sad, you feel love, you feel all this stuff. So that is automatic, come from your Bodhisattva mind, compassion. So that is what we call the awakened nature. That everyone have that affection, that love, compassion in their awakened mind. So a Bodhisattva vow to help to save all sentient beings, not just this group of these people and not the other group of people. So that's the Bodhisattva means the person who hate you, you still help him. The people they like you, you have to help him, right? So you have no discrimination of this group or that group. You help all sentient beings. Whoever come, whoever need your help, you are always present. That's why in Buddhism we have a Dharma Bodhisattva, right? On my right is Manjushri Bodhisattva. On my left is forehead, Samatha, Banta, Bodhisattva. And then on outside is the white statue, what we call Kwan is the compassion Bodhisattva, right? So all these Bodhisattva, if they want to be Buddha, they have to go the path of Bodhisattva, right? If you want to become Buddha, you cannot skip Bodhisattva path. Just like if you want to be a U.S. citizen, you have to what? You have to live here 5 years, take a test to become a United States citizen, right? You cannot just come here and live and have a green card and just say, oh, I'm a citizen, I'm a United States, until you have to take a test, right? You have to take all these things. So that's why Bodhisattva on the way to become a Buddha. There's 52 types of Bodhisattva. So the 52 level help you to become the awakening, to save, to become a Buddha. So on the way to become Buddha is a very, very long way, right? Very long step to become a Buddha. So that's why the Buddha himself, he take about almost 3 eons of years to become a Buddha. All his life is his path, but he's on the Bodhisattva path. So we are the beginner of Bodhisattva, so we are able to help all sentient beings, not all sentient beings, our family, our friend, our community, our country. That's a small portion. But when you are living with a Bodhisattva, you help all sentient beings. The ant, the grasshopper, the dog, all living beings, right? Environment too, right? You have to be able to protect the environment. That's considered a Bodhisattva. So become a Bodhisattva is not very easy, but it's not very hard, right? Everybody can do it. Because we have this awakened mind. We have a Bodhisattva in our mind already. All we need to generate, all we need to transform, and all we need to work on it, right? To able to work on diligently every day and night. So that's why every time we meditate, every time after the meditation, after the session of recitation, we recite that all living beings, we vow to save all living beings, right? Means you have to practice to open your mind, your compassion mind for all living beings, not just this living being and not the other living being. I mean all living beings, all sentient beings. So that is to help you to generate this bodhicitta, the awakened mind. When you have this awakened mind strongly, then you do everything is without any vows, any repay, right? So this is the way of practice Bodhisattva. And the next sentence says that world on the one, if the son and daughter of good families want to give rise to the highest, most fulfilled awakened mind, what should they rely on? What should they do to master their thinking? So these are the two important questions from this sutra. Right? So Buddha asked, how can we take refuge in our mind? How can we conquer our mind? And how can we master our thinking? That's the two things that we need to keep in mind. Where should your mind take refuge? Generally, when we take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. But that's the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha outside, right? You have to take the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha inside, right? Buddha means awakened, Dharma is the teaching of your mind, and the Sangha is the harmony of your mind. So in Buddhism, everything has to be outside and inside, right? So how can we, what should they rely on, and how can they master? So that is the two important questions that Subhuti asked the Buddha, right? So on section 10, section 3, the Buddha will reply the question. So probably next week we will answer that question. And the next one, the Buddha replied, well, say Subhuti, what you have said is absolutely correct. The Tathagata always support and show special confidence in the Bodhisattva. Please listen with all of your attention, and the Tathagata will respond on your question. If the daughters and sons of good families want to give rise to the highest, most fulfilled awakened mind, they should rely on the following and the master their thinking in the following way. So here the Buddha say, Tathagata Tathan means suchness, stillness. Ganta means to appear. So that is the one of the 10 special names of the Buddha. Last time we talked about the world honor one. Now this another one is the name of the Buddha is Tathanga. That is the second name of the Buddha. Tathan means suchness, stillness. Right? So whenever you heard that words, your mind had to be still. So the Buddha, his mind is always stillness, always suchness. Right? Not like us. Today we still during meditation, and next minute we are turbulent. Right? So our mind is up and down. So that's why we call Tathan means suchness, Gatha means appears. So Tathan is the basic of essence of our nature, our awakened nature. Right? So Gatha is the appearance of our true nature. Just like I have a hand, right? So the Gatha is the hand put on this thing, and the Tathan is the energy. You have to have energy to use the hand, right? If you have no energy, then you cannot use your hand, right? So Tathan is the energy, Ganta is this hand, this form, right? So in our Buddha nature, it's the same thing. Without Buddha nature, we cannot move this body. Without awakened mind, we cannot move this hand, right? So our Buddha nature is everywhere in our body. That's why we are able to manipulate all this neuron, all this wire, right? Without this mind, we cannot manipulate all this wire, right? So we are fortunate that our awakened nature is all over this body. So that's why whenever you touch your body, I mean you have awakened nature. Just like you sit, your 2 foot, you can take, you touch your 2 foot the same, you can feel the same. You don't feel this one first and this one second, right? You see that? You can test by yourself. When you use 2 hands and you pin it, the automatic, you feel the same. You don't feel this one first and that one second. So our mind is everywhere. So that's why one of the Zen masters say, blood is everywhere in your body. Everywhere you cut it is blood, right? So our awakened nature is the same thing. It means that our awakened nature is everywhere in this body, right? So that's why I mean Tathan, Ganta mean this appearance. So how can a daughter and a son, a good son and good daughter mean the disciple of the Buddha daughter, the disciple of the Buddha son, how can they able to give rise of this highest awakening? So all we practice is we want to achieve this highest awakening. So how can we do that? So that is the Buddha want to ask this question. And on this chapter 3, he will answer this question. So we save it for next week. And the next one, the Venerable Buddha say, Lord, we are so happy to hear your teaching. So whenever you want to hear the Buddha teaching, you have to be happy, right? If you are not happy, then what? You will be sleepy, you'll be tired, you'll be sick. So whenever you read the Sutra, you feel happiness, you feel joy, you feel compassion, that means you're on the right path. If you read the Sutra and you feel sleepy, you feel boring, and you feel useless, then must be something wrong, right? So everything has to be cause and consequence. If you truly honest want to learn something, I mean you fully put your mind to it. So when you put your mind to it, then you will receive 100% the teaching. If you don't fully want to study or want to do it, then you probably consume only 20 or 30%. Right? You see that. So our meditation is the same thing. If you truly want to meditate, calm your mind today, peace today, you have to focus fully in this moment. Right? But if you say, oh, I just want to meditate today to relax my mind, and then if you want it, then only 20 or 30% come to you. Right? So that's why whatever we do with full 100% with mindfulness, then everything will come with us 100%. If we do only 30%, there's 30%. We only do 50%, then 50%. Everything has the cause and consequence, right? Cause and effect. So it's like if you do something nice, 100% with your mind, then you will receive 100%, right? Sometimes more, right? With this open mind, this compassion mind, right? So this is the way that the Buddha disciples, the Buddha, we are here to happy. So 1,000, do you remember how many monks? 1,250. Yeah, they are able to prepare to listen the Buddha teaching on answer Subhuti two important questions. How can we rely on this mind? It's like we can rely on our family, we rely on mom and dad, and sister, brother, but all that relies what? Only 20 or 30%, 20 or 30 years. Your wife probably 50 years, right? And after they pass away, what you rely on? You see that? So that's why you rely on your awakened mind. Not only this life, but the next life. You see that? So rely on the outside, the appearance, they are impermanent. It's like people, when they get married, they promise to live their whole life. And suddenly 3 or 4 years they get divorced. And all this relies where they go. All this promise is gone, right? You see that? So you rely on the object outside, it will be impermanent, it will change. But if you rely on your awakened mind, right, then that's infinity. So that's why the Buddha will answer these two important questions, that what should we rely on? How can we rely on this awakened mind? So for example, right now, when we have stress, anxiety, fear, who do we depend on? We depend on the friend, good husband, good wife, able to listen to us. Right? What if they are not here? Right? You have to answer. You have to ask that question. What if they are not here? Who do we rely on? Who do we take refuge on? It's like we are drowned in the ocean. There's no log, no wood, no nothing. Who do we rely on? On water? You will drown, right? So this is the two important questions that the Buddha will answer. Okay, we will start this section. Do you have any question, comment, or anything that you like to share? So every week we will learn from each chapter. I don't want to go many. Right? If you go many, then you will not learn anything. So that means when you learn this chapter this week, you put into practice. And next week, next chapter, you put in that week's practice. So Dharma Sutra is a daily life. It's daily practice. So I want you to apply this Dharma Sutra in your daily life. Right? So this Dharma Sutra is what we call the Dharma Sutra. Right? I think there's a person, when he lectured on this Dharma Sutra, he mentioned that one of the monks, he used this Dharma Sutra to do his business. When he a monk, he studied, but when he did not become a monk anymore. He a lay person. He used this Dharma, the Dharma Sutra to work on his business, and then he became a billionaire by using this Dharma Sutra. I think you can read the book of Diamond something, right? Diamond Cutter. You can read. They talk about how to use this diamond to their daily life and their business. That's why he become a millionaire, and then after that he become a monk again. So it's very important. Diamond Sutra help you to put your life back to normal, back to reality, rather than we live with imagination. Like we hoping. All this hope is just a dream, right? But actually we live our dream every day, but we don't know. Any question, comment, or anything that you'd like to share? Yeah, question, yeah.
Can there be awareness even when there's still attachment?
Attachment awareness, where are you? If you are attachment, there's no awareness. If you are awareness, there's no attachment. Okay. Anybody else?
I guess, how do you know if you're progressing? So how do you know if you go from one to the 4 stages of enlightenment? How do you know if you're progressing through each?
When you get there, you will know.
When you what?
When you get there, you automatically know.
You just at each stage?
Yeah, you will know. So if you don't know, it means you're not at stage yet. Just like how do you know this temple here?
You can see it.
Yeah, you go short and find the address and you get here. Now you're here, you know there's a temple here. You have to be there to know there's a temple. Generally you say, your friend said there's a temple in Renton and you don't know. You're just guessing, right? But when you be here, you know everything. So in the state of enlightenment, when you're there, you will know. If you're not there, then you're still guessing. So the 4th state of enlightenment, whatever state of enlightenment. So the 1st state of enlightenment means you have 7 times of rebirth in this world. It's the definition of the 7th state of enlightenment. I mean, you have 7 times of rebirth in the world and you become arhat. So how do we know that, progress that? Because every day we live in awakened mind, we have less anger, less depression. Whenever accident come or bad thing come, we feel calm and comfortable. That means you're on the right way. If everything that's bad thing come and then suddenly you feel distressed, you feel angry, you feel all this stuff, that means you're not that yet. You see that? You can tell from your mind. Like when you sit in here and somebody say, oh, your car on fire. And you say, what? I have to run out. That means you still attachment. You still have this. And then they say, oh, I'm lying. And then you get mad and get angry and that person. You can tell by your everyday activity. By how calm, how stillness you are. It doesn't matter what people say, right? Doesn't matter if people do all the stuff, but you're still in this calmness. That's why one of the Zen masters say, when you see your awakened nature, even though people try to chop your head, your calm, your stillness, stillness. You have no move, no movement, no afraid, no fear. People try to chop your head. You see that? It's very... Okay, let's answer your question.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else? Yes, Michael?
Comment about the first chapter.
Mm-hmm.
That second paragraph, it seems that the documents just an ideal daily life.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of shows humbleness and just that Buddha was living by an example. And it kind of reminds me, I can't remember, but I thought there was a verse in the Dharma that talked about to be a good teacher, you need to follow the lesson as well.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows how important that is.
Yes.
It's very simple too, and humble.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, go ahead.
I'm still confused. So mindfulness is the same as awareness?
Awareness is inside of mindfulness, and mindfulness inside of awareness. So you are mindfulness, then you are awareness. If you are awareness, you are mindfulness, right? Mindfulness means you are 100% fully in awareness. Awareness can be how many percent your awareness. Like when we sit here, if you are awareness, but how many percent are your awareness? Awareness also can use as mindfulness. But mindfulness in Zen tradition means no thought. Mindfulness means no thought. Chánh niệm. Chánh niệm means vô niệm. Means mindfulness with no thought. If you have sit here and you have thought, then you are not completely mindfulness. You see that? You are how many percent of mindfulness and how many percent of awareness? So you can see that mindfulness and awareness can interchangeable. If your awareness, all your thought come and goes, that means you are mindful. But in Zen, say that if your mindfulness, truly mindfulness, then there's no thought. If you still have thought, that means you're actually not mindfulness. But you are awareness. You see that? Your awareness that the thought. So mindfulness and awareness can be interchangeable, can be used differently. How you use as a general Buddhism and Zen tradition. So this depends on the level. You can sit here and awareness of everything happen, but you still have thought. But Zen say mindfulness is no thought. You see that? Yes, go ahead.
I'm aware of my thoughts, and I'm aware of my feelings coming and going. I'm aware of my negative feelings, and I'm also now aware of my positive feelings coming and going. So I was wondering if that was mindfulness, but now it appears that this is just the early stages of mindfulness.
Yeah, this is the early stage of mindfulness. So go deeper, mindfulness is no thought.
Truly no thoughts?
Truly no thought, always stillness, calm.
So how can you think if you have no thoughts?
How can you think that there's no thought?
How can you go about your daily life when you have to think?
You don't need to think when you do daily life. Zen master don't need to think. Whenever they think, they need to think. Whenever they don't need to think, they don't think. They can manipulate their think. But right now we cannot. Our think is just automatic. A enlightenment person, they can think and they don't think. They can use. That's like right now he need to think, he need to think, and then he don't need to think, he don't need to think. That means he able to manipulate his mind.
So when Buddhists say no thought, they really mean no thought.
Can be thought and no thought. Mean he can control his thought. You see that? Mean there's no thought, mean no thought, no movement, mean no all this thinking. You mean you cannot the thought control you, you cannot control your thought. But right now, no thought means you control your thought. Whenever you need to think, you think. Whenever you don't need to think, you don't need to think. Even though he has thought, but he has no thought. You see that? Because he controls already. He's the boss already of a thought. So a thought is a appearance, and non-thought is non-appearance. So you have to depend on thought. Sometimes they need to think. Just like Zen master, when they need to think, they need to think. Because you go to a shopping market, he need to buy whatever he need. He first have to think, right? I need to buy mushroom, I need to buy tofu, I need to buy, and after that, he stop. But during his thinking is no thought, because he control his thought. But for us, we cannot. You see that? Doesn't mean no thought mean he able to control his thought. Of none and thought. Yes?
I like to pursue this because this is really important to me.
Okay.
So it's important to continue being maintain awareness of my thoughts coming and going,
Mm-hmm.
maintain awareness of my feelings, both positive and negative, coming and going.
Mm-hmm.
Just maintain that practice.
Yes. And sooner your thought will, you control your whole thought. And then and one day you have no thought. So like they have no thought, never. When you do automatic, it's automatic come to you. At the time there's thought or no thought, you don't need to know. You can control your mind.
So when I've lost that awareness of my thoughts coming and going, my emotions and feelings coming and going, I've lost my awareness. That means I've become attached and I'm fully lost in ego again.
You lost your ego, if you have.
I'm fully egoic again.
Yeah, you are fully, you become ego again.
Subject to the whims of my mind.
Yeah. So here's awareness. Each moment. As long as you 24 hours, your awareness each moment. That's good. But we cannot maintain that. Sometimes we awareness and sometimes we sleepy and sometimes we drowsy, we upset, all that stuff. But actually we are not awareness. We are not awareness, only awareness. We know, but suddenly this thing just manipulates us. You are not manipulating. We're not controlling. It's like anger comes, and suddenly you know you're angry, but still anger there. You see that? You truly want not 100% control the anger again. You can control it, but only you get angry already. You have hot temper already. Just like you're sitting here and somebody slap you, you have no angry, that means you are 100% mindfulness. If you slap you and you still have something inside, and you try to control it, that's what you mean. Yeah.
If you go farther, initially there's watching this phenomenon, watching the thoughts and feelings coming and going, just being aware of them.
Mm-hmm.
But this awareness of phenomenon, that too can be perceived. You can be aware of this awareness of phenomenon.
Yes, first we have to use something, some method to control our thought. So when you get used to it, you get stronger, you have to let go of this awareness. It's come automatically by yourself. You don't need to be awareness anymore. It's automatically come to you. Just like the first time you drive in, you have to focus, you have to concentrate. Then you drive 30 or 40 years, you don't need to. You just go in and drive. Right? See that? It's like ride bicycle, the same thing. You control the bike, you know the bike, you just jump in and ride, right? You don't say, oh, I have to do step after step. Like when we begin to learn how to drive, first we have to take all these steps. So you drive for 30 years, 40 years, you just go in and turn on the key and zoom. So our thought is the same thing. Our process, our control our mind is the same. It's like swimming, right? When you know swimming, you never forget, right? You just jump in the water and you are like swim. Right? How can we do that? Even though we are not swimming for 20 or 30 years. Because it's already inherent in us. We already learned not to swim in the past. We know to swim. Now we just stop swimming for 20 or 30 years, and then suddenly we still know how to swim. You see that? It's like ride bicycle, the same thing. Okay.
Something happens when I practice this awareness of my thoughts and awareness of thinking. At that point, it really does seem like the self does not exist. Because when you're aware of something, you're not the something that you are aware of. And even awareness of this awareness, even that can be perceived and so on and so on. It goes back like an infinite regression, like holding a mirror in front of a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And you observe yourself. If you're observing yourself, the self you're observing is not the self. Watch observing the self. That which is observing itself is not the self, and the self becomes a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Is that imagination?
No, actually that's truly practice, right? So it's like when we see a self, actually a self does not exist.
It doesn't.
It's not exist. We just thought it is exist.
Yes, because it can be observed.
Yeah.
And there's only observing, there's only seeing.
Mm-hmm. Because we are attachment. That's why we say this is self, this is self. Right? Actually, self is an accident. That's why what we call the self or non-self. Right? It's non-accident. It's called emptiness. That's why we attachment, then we become accident. So it's like we say, oh, this world, is this a world accident? For enlightenment mind, this world is not accident. But for us, if we say, oh, this world is accident, this house, this people, all this is like a dream, right? This world is like a dream.
Yeah, I reach that point and then I stop because I start doubting it.
Don't doubt. When you doubt, you go back to your original.
Yeah.
Let it be. That is natural. That is naturally progressed by itself. So when you doubt, it means you start the practice, and then you will lose the awareness, the mindfulness. Okay, anybody? Comment, question? Yes? Daniel?
Tathagata, I think that's how it's pronounced. That kind of means still mind. It's one of those names for the Buddha.
Yeah, suchness, stillness.
Stillness of the mind, or just stillness?
Stillness. Stillness is mind stillness. Suchness is tatham. This is a Pali word. Tatham. Kanta. It's one of the 10 Buddha names. Because when you be enlightenment, you become Buddha, there's 10 names. Buddha on the one low, the low, or we call the Tathagata, Buddha, Arahant. There's 10 of them. So you can type in Google name, 10 titles of the Buddha. It's called 10 titles of the Buddha. It's like Dale, when you become a doctor, you're a Dale, and you are this stuff. Or you're a boss or something like that. Anybody comment, question?
I have another question.
Okay.
Is ill will and sensual desire like tied up together? So you need to get rid of one, get rid of the other?
It's all related together, but the basic thing is greed, envy, and desire. Greed, envy, and ignorance, right? All the other things subtitle. If you let go of anger, you let go of greed, and you let go of ignorance, then the whole thing is destroyed by itself.
So you let go all at once,
Huh?
It's all at once, it's not like
Yeah.
each one at a time.
Yeah. You have to destroy all at once. You don't have to destroy one, this one is take long. All is come from the thinking mind. So if you stop thinking mind, then there's no anger, no delusion, no desire. So everything is come from the thinking mind. That's why in Zen tradition we have to go direct to the mind. We don't go start this anger, start this greed, start this. Take a long time. We don't want to take a long time. We have no time, right? We go direct to the thinking, direct to the mind. Yeah. Okay. Comment? Anybody? Question? Bless you. No question? Too easy today? Okay. Next time we will study the question, the answer that we have reply. Okay, we recite the in advance. Goes. Leave in me not innumerable, I vow to save them all. Afflictions are endless, I vow to eradicate them all. The Dharma laws are comfortable, I vow to study them all. The Buddha ways is unsettled, I vow to attain it. I vow that the merit and virtues from this is flows everywhere, enrich everyone, so that all of us and all living beings utilize the Buddha word. Thank you. Enjoy your wonderful week. It'll be a hot week, sun.